welcome to another episode of the Ultimate Intimacy Podcast. I got Amy back. Yes, she didn't leave me.
I know it's in the
She
podcast. You're like, she abandoned me. I'm like, might want to explain that one.
Oh, I think everyone knows we're joking around with that, right? Like at least I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so.
So Amy's back, so this podcast will be much, much, much better
Hey, you
with
had
the
Austin.
host.
That's pretty
That's true.
great.
I
Pretty
let
great.
Austin just talk most of the time. So yeah. Anyways, welcome to the podcast today. We're excited to be here, and I think we have a good topic today. So
Do you want me to tell what it is?
yeah, lead us off.
Curiosity. Curiosity.
And
Staying curious in your marriage.
oh yeah,
Nick
yeah, I
came up
think.
with this. Nick came up with the entire topic. So I'm excited to
Well,
I'm gonna say what you came up with, and then you're gonna explain why you think that is so important.
oh, is that how we're doing
Well,
this?
that's
No,
you're the
what?
one that prepared this one, so that's what we're gonna do.
No, it is really important to stay curious in marriage, and we'll dive into all the different ways you can stay curious in your marriage, why it's important, and really get into that. But I mean, that's how you kind of keep things exciting and continue to learn about each other and things like that. Like, we've
Sure.
shared before in the podcast, Amy and I often have a lot of good conversations that we've never had before, and sometimes they are for hours, just learning new things about each other and yeah, trying to stay curious about each other in certain ways, right? Both
Absolutely.
both in and out of the bedroom, and
hmm
I think that's really important. So
I think whether you need more emotional connection, physical touch, sexual connection, whatever that looks like in your marriage, I think hopefully we'll cover it
yeah,
today, right? Because staying curious about each other involves all of those aspects in marriage.
agreed.
And we've been married 23 years. We know many people that have been married like 50 years. We know people that married 1 year. Like it is important for every stage of life. So I like this episode because it covers everybody. This covers everybody. Like it doesn't matter if you're not even struggling in your marriage. This covers your marriage. If you're struggling in lots of areas, this should help your marriage.
Well, and I think if you look at the couples that are real happy and
hmm
laughing and have a sense of humor, they are the kind of couples that do stay curious about each other. They don't
Absolutely.
kind of fall into a pattern of just getting bored and like, oh, I know everything about you. And I mean,
hmm
their things are exciting. They're always trying to find out new things and ask questions and trying different things like that. That's one
hmm
of the key things, right? It's like, let's try
Yeah.
this, let's try this, let's do this, and
Keeping the relationship alive and passionate, which is not just sexual, that's like dating and pursuing. I think dating each other and
Mhm.
continually pursuing each other just like hooks right in with this word, right?
Oh yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Okay, so I think that when you stay curious about your spouse, you're less likely to take them for granted.
Yeah,
Do you
100%.
believe that?
Yeah.
Let's see. So I have a quote. Curiosity also prevents emotional stagnation. People change over time, and spouses evolve in their thoughts, feelings, dreams, and needs. What your spouse loved or wanted 5 years ago, or sometimes even a week ago,
But
may not
yeah.
be what they value today. By staying curious about your spouse, you continually rediscover your spouse, creating ongoing opportunities for intimacy and connection. And I'm going to add in emotional connection and passion.
Well, and that's so true. I mean, we've talked about that before too. Like, even with the love languages, like how often does something change
Right,
based upon what's going on in
right.
life? And so I love how
Absolutely.
you said that because things do change and
hmm
sometimes even like weekly.
Absolutely.
And so
hmm
it's so important to stay curious and ask each other questions, even if they're just questions like, "Hey, how you feeling this week?" Or, what
hmm
can I do for you? Or what are you feeling like? Want to get out and do this week? Or just
Absolutely.
instead of just
Absolutely.
assuming, "Oh, I know my spouse," and
hmm Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to start with curiosity outside of the bedroom. And believe me, we're going to talk about different aspects, but let's start with outside the bedroom because I feel like we get so many arguments with comments about why emotional connection and sexual connection goes hand in hand, and they do absolutely like equally important if both spouses have different needs, right? Like
hmm
equally important, but a strong marriage foundation is what creates a great sexual relationship. And that's what people like hesitate to understand, especially men, not always, but especially men, husbands have a like forget that the more passion you want in your marriage, the better the emotional connection should be in your marriage.
For
And
sure.
that goes hand in hand. And so let's start with curiosity, staying at, or keeping it passionate outside of the bedroom. Okay. So let's remember that curiosity is not just limited to the conversations that you have. Like when we say being curious about your spouse, that's not just,
Yeah.
hey, doing some conversation starters and just talking all the time and asking them, what's changed about you? Is your love language changed? What do you enjoy? Like there's so much more about being curious than just conversations and communication, even though that's super key important, right?
Yeah, and I think it's important to ask open-ended conversation questions, right? Like
Absolutely.
that gets a deep, deep conversation instead of just like, has your love language changed over
Right.
time? No. Okay.
Right.
Like really dive into like the open-ended questions.
Absolutely. So me and Nick have been married 23 years, almost 24 this year.
And that's been the best
The
24
other,
years of your life, right?
yes, absolutely. I can't remember the first 10 anymore.
Yeah.
Getting old. Um, yeah, like you're a bigger part of my life than ever being that's crazy when you are married longer than being single.
Oh yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
day,
that's
right? You're
crazy.
like,
That's
I don't
crazy.
remember half of that.
Well, maybe I
Um,
want to be single again.
no,
I'm joking.
there are always days. There are always days in every marriage that you're like, that was easier, but that's not what life is about, right? Okay, so I was just gonna say, me and Nick had a conversation the other night, sitting in our hot tub, midnight, what, a couple hours long, about an important topic that we needed to discuss. I'm not gonna get into it, but
Now the audience is just dying to know what it was. But sorry.
it was something that was it was very important for us to discuss. Not like argument sense, but like needed to be discussed. And it just shows that even after 23 years, I was learning things about Nick. He was learning things about me. We were having great communication. We were staying curious. We were staying open-minded. We were having a really good discussion, and which is really important. And we had different feelings on things. And so my point is like it's never too late to have really good discussions, no matter like long. I think everyone like I know that, but like you said, having open-ended discussions is so important because they always seem to lead to deeper things that need to be talked about.
Yeah, and I don't know how you feel, but even if it's a tough conversation, like after I talked to Amy, I felt like a huge weight was lifted off of me. And
Hmm.
I'm like, all right, regardless of what happens, you know, I feel like that big weight was lifted off of me, and I felt so good afterwards just expressing some thoughts to Amy, right? And
Right.
also hearing what she had to say about certain things as well, too. So I
Mhm.
think, having those deep conversations, um, being curious and having those just can,
Absolutely.
regardless of what the outcome is, just
Mhm.
can make you feel so good as well, too.
So if you feel like you have a great marriage, but you're like, I want to be more curious, what does this look like? Instead of being like, how was your day? Good or bad? Look at your spouse when they get home and say, what was the best part of your day? What was the most exciting thing that happened to you today? What was the hardest part about your day? Like a deeper, open-ended question is not a yes, it was good, or yes, it was, or it sucked, or whatever. What was your favorite part of your day? That right
Yeah.
there, like if Nick is really good at this, but how was your pickleball game today? Like, did anything crazy happen? Anything fun? Did you kick some butt? Like, he'll ask me questions and I'll be like, well, this happened and I did really good here. Or this happened. Like, he's trying to start a conversation with me, not just be like, being nice. How was your day? Oh, it was good. How was your game? It was good. That was just an example.
Yeah, that's a good
Okay.
example.
So I just think
Because
it's really important to like not let your spouse know that you're just like, I care about your day. How was it? But I want to know about you. I want to know what happened today. Like
Well,
what
and
are your feelings,
often we
right?
feel like to have a deep conversation has to be an important subject, right? Like
Right. No,
pickleball is not important. There's
no,
nothing
it's not.
important,
No.
but I do that to like try to start a deep conversation with her
He
and
acts
hear
like he
how it went.
cares.
Yeah.
He acts like he cares.
So
Even though it's something that's what even means more is that it's not an important thing. It's something dumb. It's like it was an hour and a half.
but that's what
It
I
was a
think a lot
hobby.
of us as couples often feel like is, oh, if it's an important conversation, I'll take it more serious and we'll
Right.
try to have that
Right.
conversation. If it's not important, we'll just keep everything surface level. But
Right.
really, like you can have those good
Oh,
conversations
absolutely.
regardless.
Absolutely. Okay, good on that one. Okay, the next one is explored shared interest together. hobbies, getting outside, doing fun things together. Why does that keep a couple curious about each other? How do you think that helps?
Oh, I think that helps a lot. I mean, I just look in our own marriage, like when we get out and do different fun things, like for example, how much have we talked about the last trip that we did?
A lot.
Probably too much, right? But it opens up dialogue to be like, oh, would you want to go back there again? What did you like? What didn't you like? What could have been
hmm
better? Well, maybe next time, should we take the kids? Like it just
hmm
opens up like discussions that are exciting for what we can do in the future together, whether it's that or something else. And
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think that's important too, because I mean that's a different aspect of marriage, but like, fun and spending that time together and things like that. So,
I think staying curious too, with each other and making those kind of memories where whether it's a vacation or it's just a date night or doing something new together, um, creates more like excitement slash curiosity about life and places and stuff too. And like you said, it gives you something to talk about. I
well,
had no idea on our last vacation. We went somewhere where Nick had to drive on the other side of the road. I learned a lot about him and I learned a lot about myself. And it's funny, like just that little experience, I was like, oh wow, that was interesting. And now we can joke
Well,
about certain things
a
about
good
that.
example is I asked Amy the question, and if I would have never asked this, I would have never known. But I said, what were your thoughts like the first 2 hours we were there when you stepped off the plane? And I wanted to see if they were the same as mine. Because I was thinking, I'm like, what have I done? I mean, I just booked this
We
place, and we're driving on the wrong side of the road in the middle of nowhere.
almost pretty much lost.
I mean, it's like a total third world country. And I was thinking,
The
man.
airport was literally the size of my bedroom.
Yeah, it was crazy. But after a couple hours, like we got into things and
Yeah.
we had the best trip ever. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make is if I never would have asked her that, I would have never known how she felt about
Mhm.
things. But she was feeling the same way I did. She's like,
Freaking
oh my
out.
heck, I was feeling this way. And it started a great conversation, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyways, maybe that's I
Lots
don't
of
know.
conversations. My point is deep conversations, important conversations are really, really important, but the lighthearted conversations you have in your marriage are just as important.
Hmm.
That's my entire point. Like not saying that those deep, vulnerable, open, honest, very serious conversations, they are so important, but just to remember that like the lighthearted, tell me the best part of your day or tell me the worst part of your day. Those kind of conversations at the end of the day are going to make your spouse feel really loved
Hmm.
because you're like, or tell me about your lunch date or your business meeting today. Things that you don't really care about, but you know are important to them. That's what shows love.
Yeah, and they start great conversations and you learn so much.
Yeah, so the entire point of the conversation aspect is like, and doing things and getting outside together is, well, doing those things create conversations, and
Hmm.
the conversations is what builds intimacy. So
Yeah,
hopefully that makes
100%.
sense. Okay,
100%.
celebrate your spouse's evolving dreams and goals. So, evolving, I like that word
They're
because
always
they're
changing.
always changing. Like something that I want to do this month might be totally different next
Hmm.
month. Same with him. And so, staying on top of that and asking questions, not just asking questions again, but like wanting to know and caring once again is like really, really important to building that intimacy.
Oh, for sure. 100%.
Hey Nick, what's a great hobby you want to try next month or this month? Or what is a really fun date night that you have on your mind that you would love for us to go try together? And or is there a new restaurant that you've had on your mind or a different kind of food that we could try? Is there a fun activity that you want to go try? Or is there a movie that's coming out that you would like to see and why? Why do you love that? Like why does that look so interesting to you? Do you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
go do those things together. Like that is what fun. And
Yeah.
celebrate your spouse. This, I
Absolutely.
mean, the word was celebrate your spouse's evolving dreams and goals. So, what does that look like to your marriage? Like, what a great conversation starter,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. You don't have much to say on that one.
No, I mean, I think it's self-explanatory,
It
but
is.
yeah.
Okay. Practice playful communication. Playfulness
Okay.
keeps curiosity alive.
I think that's so important. Like a lot of people actually fall in love with their spouse because of a sense of humor. I think that's a big part, right? Like if you can make someone laugh or I mean, obviously that makes you feel good and keeps things fun and
Mhm.
Sense of humor is so important. So yeah, having those fun and type of conversations.
Okay, so what happens if a couple is really struggling in the marriage and the fun is just kind of down 50 levels? That's how I'm gonna put it.
Okay, well,
Okay, because
we've been there.
we had a 10-year stretch where it was so stressful. I don't feel like there was any joking. There was just frustration every day, every single day. And we get that. Like we get that. And I think that we've shared before that we started like once we kind of like figured things out, got our feet off the ground again, kind of fixed our marriage, started dating each other again. I think we've already mentioned we started trying to watch some like more comedy kind of series or some comedy videos or go to a comedian,
Yeah.
just trying to bring that laughter back,
Okay.
right?
Think of this. So we every year we go to like a comedy show here in our city, and
Were you?
yeah, it's
Oh, the one.
yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Right.
And how do we feel after we go there?
It's fun.
It's a blast. We have
It's
a
so much
blast
fun.
together, right? We're both
Yeah, we're
laughing
our
and
jaws
crying and
hurt because we don't laugh enough like that very often.
yeah, and then we talk about it afterwards and but
Yes,
yeah, incorporating that fun and laughter and joking around like it totally changes, yeah.
it does. It takes that very serious relationship that you have or things you're going through to like, okay, like we can still laugh together and have fun together and have this more lighthearted part of our person, like our relationship that's fun again,
Yeah, that's
right?
one of my goals is to try to keep Amy always laughing or joking with her. And sometimes she rolls her eyes and looks at me and like, oh my heck, I can't believe that. But
Not always.
hopefully that's a good thing. Hopefully that she likes that.
So if you're sitting there and you're like, we're just not really jokesters in our marriage, or I roll my eyes, this is just a situation. I'm not saying that I roll my eyes at you,
Oh,
but like if your husband doesn't make you laugh anymore, the wife used to be funny, but she's not funny anymore. You've kind of lost that playfulness in your marriage. My suggestion, and maybe this is stupid, but we have some friends that are really, really funny. And if we invite them over for game night, we're laughing for hours after just talking about what happened at game night.
oh, for sure.
So my advice is like find those friends that still have that like fun, flirty, like the kind of friends that like will tell a story or a joke and you'll start crying because you're laughing so hard.
Oh yeah.
If you have those kind of people in your life, it doesn't have to be in your marriage necessarily. Invite them over, play some board games, a card game, some kind of game that's gonna just make you like Balderdash, man. We have some memories in our marriage with friends. Like some of the answers we still laugh about to this day.
Yeah.
And those are memories that we made by choosing to have a fun game night with friends and just hang out and laugh a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
So that's my tip is like find those kind of people, invite them, you know, into a date night or into your life more, and that's gonna help you start laughing and connecting better too.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, like I said, being part of curiosity, like, oh, I never know my spouse like reacted that way or felt that way. Or when you're playing some fun games, you're like, oh my heck, you
I
know,
think
kind
the
of came out of their
first time
mouths.
Nick ever saw like tears streaming down my face at game night, he's like, what the crap? Right?
Oh, it's
Same with
awesome.
you. I was
Oh,
like, I've
so
never seen you laugh that hard, but I could never make him laugh that hard, but that's okay. That's okay. Okay. Anything else outside of the bedroom that you would add?
no, I think all those are great.
I think date night is really, really important. I think
100%. Yeah.
you have to be able to stay curious about your spouse when it comes to like dating each other. Like Nick this weekend said, it's your turn to pick tonight. And I was hesitant because I know that he doesn't love the same foods as me. And I said, this is what I really love. And he's like, let's go. You have to be okay with doing things sometimes that are not your favorite, but you know it's your spouse's favorite. And switching off, rotating, keeping it balanced, whatever that looks like in your marriage. But saying, I want you to pick any restaurant or we can cook any kind of food you want. Like just letting your spouse
Or
just
what do
make
you
some of the
want?
decisions, talking about it and trying new things together, new foods together, new places together. Just
Yeah.
really important. So we'll just end with that one.
We could be
Yeah.
better at that. I could be better at that.
Hey, we've been doing a little bit better. We went to a restaurant. We're usually the go-to same people, order the same thing. We've been trying harder to like step
Switch
out
it
of
up.
our
Yeah.
comfort zone.
Totally
So
did.
that's good.
We're
And then
staying
it gives
curious.
you more stuff to talk about. Like that was like, did you love your plate? And then you try each other's food. Like, I don't know.
It was good.
Conversations, good conversations. Okay, switching to Nick's favorite part, which is curiosity inside the bedroom. Why is that so important?
Well, why don't you tell me because you created the app. So
I got bored. I thought, see, but that's like changes the whole story
No,
because I
I know.
thought I was bored in the bedroom. It was really just that we had a bunch of emotional disconnection.
Okay,
But
no,
that did come from
I'm
that.
just gonna say this, like let's just take sex toys for an example.
Okay.
Amy and I were really against those, and I don't know why we were against those. Maybe just like growing up and what we
Yeah.
were taught or thought or knew or heard, you know,
Who
whatever,
knows?
kind of
Yeah.
our
We just
just our
were.
judgment.
Right.
And when we tried those, it completely changed things, like for her enjoyment.
Hmm.
And we have so many other couples that have reached out to us. They're like, "Oh my heck, where has this been? Like, this has
Hmm.
completely changed my marriage."
Hmm.
When you're open to trying new things, you can improve certain aspects of your marriage overall. We're talking about sexual intimacy, but um, open to exploring or trying new things, like, can just be a complete game changer for you. Like,
Hmm.
it has for us, for so many other couples as well too. So staying
Absolutely.
curious in the bedroom, I think, as we just talked about all the principles outside the bedroom, a lot of these apply in the bedroom. Like, talk about things. Like,
Hmm.
Amy and I used to never talk about sexual intimacy. Now we're very open about it. Like,
Hmm. Took us a lot of years. Yeah.
what does that feel
Hmm.
good? What do you like? What don't you like? What would you prefer? Like, just making each other feel more comfortable. And
Hmm.
when you talk about those things and stay curious, it's just going to make it more enjoyable, hopefully,
Right.
and better in the long run.
I think the best invention ever that we invented
Did we?
is that let's talk about sex card deck.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I really, really do. And it was literally just to help couples talk about it. It was everything that we ever needed to talk about the first 15 years of our marriage that we didn't. And it starts with, once again, it starts with strong emotional connection. It talks, okay, like what do you need outside the bedroom? What are date nights? Pursuing each other. What does this look like to you? All those kind of conversations that build up to the foreplay, that build up to the more heated moments.
Yeah.
The discussions from clear on this side, clear up to this side to after play. What do you need after we make love? What makes you feel connected after? All the way from the waking up in the morning, what do you need emotionally to after. That card deck gets you talking about everything. I think that is probably the number one product when we say the word curiosity is that card deck getting you talking about everything. And when we started talking, like you said, about what's needed outside the bedroom, now what's needed inside the bedroom and staying curious, like, well, I'd like to try this. If it gets you at least having those discussions. And when you start having those kind of discussions, and your vulnerability is respected and you're listened to and you find that trust in your relationship, like emotional safety is key for women sexual arousal, right? Like we need to feel 100% safe emotionally in the bedroom, outside the bedroom, in our whole entire relationship in order to want to make love to our spouse, right? And that creates so much of it when you can have those conversations and really listen to each other.
Well, and what you're saying is really important, because the more you have those conversations, the easier it's going to become. I will definitely say, like, the conversation Amy and I had the other night, earlier on in our marriage, I probably not wouldn't have had that conversation
Right.
because I didn't maybe wouldn't have felt as comfortable. I would have, for a
Mhm.
variety of reasons.
Mhm.
But when you start having those conversations and being curious about each other and seeing that, oh my heck, this makes things so much better. Like, makes it so much easier. Like, it's just like the floodgates open, and then
Absolutely.
you can just start having all these conversations that maybe you've never had before, haven't felt comfortable having before.
Absolutely. So just on our list for this, it's like explore fantasies together, talk about your fantasies together, try new bedroom games, experiment with intimacy aids, like we
The
talked about. Those are just a couple. It took us ripping off that band-aid at year 15 to be like, I want to try something new. It was me. And he's like, wait, is it not good enough? Like, you have to be able to be honest and really listen to your spouse and what they need. And for a lot of women, like you said, an intimacy aid, I like to call them aid, not toys.
yeah,
Like, I think they're marriage changing, physical intimacy changing tools.
AIDS.
I think
Yep.
they're tools, right? We use tools for every aspect of our life
To
and
fix things or to make things
enhance
better.
things, make them better, make it feel better, work better, right? And so I am like completely on board with appropriate ones
Yeah.
that are used together and that are appropriate, right? Like have a very high standard on what's allowed in our bedroom.
Oh, we were talking about
But
that the other night. Like, a lot of people associate like sex toys or AIDS as like
something
crazy
crazy, yeah.
things. And Amy and I were talking about that, and we're like, we don't sell those kind of things because we don't want it to be, that's what the purpose is. The purpose of these are to help relationships, help the wife enjoy it more, explore, be curious, and just to elevate and take your sexual intimacy to a
Mhm.
new level, right? Like,
Right,
so,
right, right, right.
yeah.
No, okay, so when we're talking about like fantasies, I don't know why the word fantasy bugs me. I
Yeah,
don't,
it bugs me
it
too.
bugs me too. I don't like that word. It's
Fantasy,
more
fantasy
like
to me sounds like it's like
something crazy or
or
kinky
or
or,
not real. Like it's you have to take it another level. Like
right,
a fantasy should be it should be realistic. Like what is a fantasy?
right.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I like the word more like, okay, what are our goals in the bedroom? What sounds exciting to try with me? Like, I don't like to think of fantasizing. Like, no,
A
like,
fantasy seems like it's something else or someone
or
else.
someone else.
Yeah.
Like, that's not okay to us. But your marriage is your marriage. To me, it's more like, okay, how do we make it more exciting? How do we keep it passionate? What would we like to try that's new that we're both on board with? And talking about those healthy boundaries you have in the bedroom, just being very vulnerable and
Yeah,
honest,
for
right?
sure.
So, when it comes to trying new bedroom games, trying a new intimacy aid, whatever that looks like, just being on the same page, once again, building that trust.
Well,
But
the reason why curiosity, sorry, I mean to cut you off. The
no,
reason why curiosity is so important is a lot, and we hear this a lot of times. Husband or wife will say, "Well, I want to try this," and my husband does or doesn't,
mhm,
and we have this disconnect because he wants to try things and I'm not comfortable with it. And
yeah,
obviously, they're not talking about that,
right,
right? Like
right,
it's the husband's just like, "Well, why can't we do this?" And I don't want to.
yeah,
But staying curious, like gets into the deep conversations, like why should we try this? Why shouldn't we?
right,
Like just
yeah.
it can help in so many ways.
And so if you're on board to try something together and you're both 100% on board, not talking into, but like you're both like, yeah, let's try that. It does open up some doors to be like, oh my gosh, like that was really great. You know? And sometimes, 20 years in your marriage, 10 years, whatever that looks like, can be marriage changing when you find something that you both love, whether it's out inside the bedroom or outside. Like once again,
Correct.
right? Like we tried some restaurants that were marriage changing for us.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally, right? So, okay. Communicate during intimacy, we kind of already talked about, and be open to learning, especially in the bedroom. Like, sorry, I use the word like a lot. I use like,
I
sorry.
I use a lot of words a lot.
If your spouse is like, this doesn't feel super good to me, or let's try something, don't take it personally. Our bodies are completely different. So staying curious about your spouse means learning to listen to what is going well for them inside the bedroom, what they don't like. It's has not we
Well,
can't be offended when our spouse doesn't like something because our bodies are different. We're trying to learn each other,
well, and
right?
especially for many women, like what worked one time doesn't work the next time. So that's why
Yeah.
you really need to
Yeah.
stay curious and have that communication and talk to each other. Because I'm like, wait, I thought that worked last time. No, it's not doing it
It's
for
not
me.
doing it for me this time. My body changed
Yeah,
20
in a couple
days.
minutes.
Okay, so anything else in the bedroom?
No, I think people get
So
this.
curiosity builds emotional and sexual safety, and we kind of already touched on that. I think that when you can have these discussions, like, did that feel good to you? Oh, that didn't feel good to you. Okay, what would be better? When you can have that kind of conversation, you know that you have an open, vulnerable, and safe relationship.
Yeah,
And that your spouse is
100%.
like, no, that did not feel good at all. They're not going to take it personally. It's a physical thing. It's not
Yep.
a it was you
Yeah,
problem,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like if I tell Nicole, I'm like, that don't do that. Not I don't like that. It's not that I'm saying you're bad at it. It's like my body is not responding
Just
to
didn't
that the
work
way
for me. Yeah.
yours would, right?
Yeah.
So, um, okay, curiosity with conflict resolution. What do you think that looks like?
I think that instead of just arguing back and forth and trying to prove your point, it's really listening to your spouse and asking questions. Why are you upset? What did I
Mhm.
do that upset you? Why, how do we resolve this? Like asking those
Right,
types of questions instead of, typically when a lot of us get in conflict, it's we're trying to defend ourselves or, point the finger or things like that. It's almost
right.
like trying to win versus trying to understand and be curious as to like, hey, why does this feel this way to you? Can you
Mhm.
explain to me why you're feeling this way or why you're
Right,
upset about this? I don't understand.
right.
And being curious that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good.
I mean,
Yep. Oh, I wanted to add in. I was thinking and then I lost my train of thought. We just did an episode on assuming. And I think staying curious is To me,
Takes
it's
away the
the
assumptions.
opposite of assuming. So instead, and assuming will ruin your marriage, right? If I assume that he could read my mind and that he knows what I need and inside the bedroom or outside the bedroom, or when it comes to house cleaning or taking care of the kids, if I assume that he knows what I need, I'm doing the opposite of being curious,
Yeah.
right? Or vice versa, right? So when we assume, we're not asking. I'm assuming that he's a physical touch love language. I'm just
You assumed
assuming
right.
I'm assuming that if I give him a kiss when he leaves for work, everything's great. Okay. But if I say, hey, what would make you feel loved today in your love language? And he's like, if we could just cuddle tonight for 20 minutes, I would feel really loved today. I can't assume that giving him a goodbye kiss is going to feel that love language that day. But if I say, hey, how can I speak your love language today? He's going to say, I'm staying curious about him. I know his love language, but I'm digging deeper than that,
Yeah.
right? And that's the kind of simple questions, like we already said, you know, that's really important to keep having,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
And we can do better at this as well too. Like this, I mean,
Yep.
God, as we're talking about these things, I'm like, man, I could do way better at this.
So taking 10 minutes a day can change your marriage if you ask curious questions. And that's where the Ultimate Intimacy app came from, was we added the conversation starters. Like, this is how you stay curious about your spouse. We have conversation starters in spiritual, family, romance, intimacy, everyday life, parenting. Like,
Yeah.
there's questions on the entire range of conversation that are going to help you ask deeper questions, especially even the would you rather,
Oh
or
yeah.
even if
Would
you
you
just
rather
do
are
the truth
awesome.
or dare game. That is the best curiosity because it's truth or dare. Even if you just want to have conversations and pick all truth, not the dares, just play the truth game. Like, that's going to
Oh,
start some really
oh,
deep
really good
conversations, right?
conversation.
So there's
Absolutely.
no way that any relationship, even if you're 70 years old and you've been married 50 years, that you could be bored in your marriage if you get out the Ultimate Intimacy app and use the conversation starters. Like,
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like
That's
that
good.
is the best tool ever, right? Celebrate, keep learning together. And the last thing I'm going to end with is surprising your spouse. Once in a while, whether it's just something small or leaving a note on their car. I suck at these things. I'm not saying I'm a professional, but a flirty text, surprising your spouse is a great way to like keep the marriage not just curious, but like spontaneous and fun. And that's a really big part of that is just keeping it fun, right?
Agreed. There's been a couple things Amy's done that have been spontaneous or surprised me. And I'm not usually a surprise guy, but I will say this, those two things like are the most fun or the best things that have ever happened in our marriage,
Right.
right? Like I
Right.
talk about that all the time. And one of them was just a surprise couple
Mhm.
overnights in Vegas
Right.
close. And that was the funnest time. Like I wouldn't trade anything. That was the funnest time I've ever had with Amy.
Yeah, that's
And a
fun.
lot of it was because it was spontaneous and curious and let's go do this and try this and
Hmm.
just with different places and things
Yeah,
like that. And so it is so important to do. I'm glad that you
absolutely.
brought that up about being spontaneous.
Hmm.
Talk to your spouse though, because
Hmm.
sometimes your spouse might not be a spontaneous person,
Right.
but
Yeah, definitely talk about it.
yeah.
So this episode is sponsored by shop.ultimateintimacy.com. We
Oh,
have
what a great store.
we have we have the best products for intimacy. I'm gonna say these two things. Make sure you have the app, get on the conversation starters, start talking to each other. That is the number one way to start staying curious about each other or get more
Yeah.
curious about your spouse. Number two is the Let's Talk About Sex card deck. Go grab it in the shop. You can even pair it with our new book that came out last year, Let's Talk About Sex.
Even if you don't need it, even if it's like one of those products you're like, ah,
Right.
I don't need that. We have a great
Right.
time talking. It'll
Mhm.
still benefit you greatly.
Each card says why this is important to discuss, and then it gives you the things to discuss. So that's what's so great about it is it's going to take all your emotional to the sexual, the whole span of everything in your marriage, and really get you talking and why you need to talk about those things. So I just think that's a great tool if you're struggling. And then of course we have intimacy, I call tools or aids to really enhance your intimate life.
Yeah.
Whether it's a coupon book because you want more emotional connection in your marriage, or date ideas because you want more fun dates, more adventures, or you want better conversations, or you want to spice up the bedroom. We have it all. So
Yeah. And
shop.ultimateintimacy.com.
yeah, and like hitting on again, even if you feel like things are great, like these things can just make things even better. Once again, just
Absolutely.
staying curious about each other.
Absolutely.
So,
Yep.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the podcast and look forward to Friday again with Austin. And
Yes.
it'll be another good one. We're excited to start doing that more often where we have him come on as many Fridays as we
He's
can.
a
So,
marriage, if you missed the last episode, he's a marriage family therapist
and
and
sex
sex
therapist.
therapist.
Yep.
And we're going to have him on. We're going to try and have a professional on every Friday from now on. Not promising every Friday, but as much as we can. And so if you want to email some really good questions that you have, some topics that you want us to cover with him that we necessarily can't really help with, like
Yeah.
do it. Email us.
Amy@ultimateintimacy.com. So until next time, we hope all of you find ultimate intimacy in your relationship.